Do you have a prospect that you're dying to do business with? Well, you're in luck. Listen to this week's episode for all the tips and tricks on ways to bring non-monetary value to relationships. Hey, lady bosses, are you working even after putting the kids to bed but still not getting results?
Are you tired of spending money on ads that aren't getting engagement?
Do you feel burdened that you aren't fulfilling your purpose in life because you are so consumed with work?
I'm your host, Brooke Bolts. I'm an attorney and founder of Bolts Legal. I started my business and in 1 year was bringing in 7 figures and am now bringing in multi-7 figures.
And I'm your co-host, Rachel Bolts, owner of Bolts Media. I've helped many businesses build their online presence and increase their revenue through digital marketing.
Want to hear how we did it?
We are here to help you achieve your goals personally, professionally, and spiritually.
So kick off your high heels, sit back, and let's ignite that passion.
We're Miss Biz, where we're putting the Miss in biz.
Let's get biz done. The best compliment is a referral, and everybody is seeking referrals. But what if you don't have them? How can you build a relationship with someone when you know what they want, but you can't provide it? Well, today is all about how to build that value in your relationships aside from the obvious, which is referring them business. So any ideas, Rachel? How do you do this?
Well, one of the best ways I can think of is introducing them or connecting them with people that deal with their type of clients or can send them repeat business. Because, right, one of the best ways to grow your business is to find the industries or the people who can send you repeat business. And if you are not that ideal referral partner, then you can introduce them to people who can send them that repeat business.
A great example of this in the personal injury world is that lawyers often want to meet doctors and doctors often want to meet lawyers. And who is in between is the MRI representatives, because the MRI representatives are salespeople for the MRI company. And so they like to meet both lawyers and doctors. And they oftentimes can make that introduction. If they have a lawyer looking to meet doctors, they will set up an introduction so that those two can start to build a relationship. So this is kind of what MRI reps are doing all the time, is just introducing people, connecting people in the personal injury world to each other so that they can build relationships directly. But the MRI rep in turn is building a relationship and credibility with both the firm and the doctor at the same time. Because if they schedule a lunch, for example, the MRI rep is usually going to be there. They're the introducing party, and they're going to have an opportunity to build relationship during that lunch in the same way that the other people are. So introducing people and connecting people is super valuable, because we all know that a warm introduction goes so much further than a cold call or a social media post or a LinkedIn message. There's nothing that's going to open the door to relationship building more than a warm introduction from someone you know and trust.
I think one of the best ways to do that is just to schedule a lunch for everybody, to be able to get to know each other, maybe even outside of office hours. But if you don't have that opportunity, then I think the next best method is to send a joint email or a joint text. Yes, those will all really work, but I am a true believer in shared experiences. So if you can create a fun shared experience for all three of you guys to go out and do something, I think that will make a very high impact.
So another way that you can add value to relationships without having to spend any money or pass any referrals is just showing up. When that person that you want to build a relationship with has an event, if you are there in support of them and their business, they will note that. They will appreciate that. And a great example of this in my life is my financial advisor. He is not in a position where he meets people who need personal injury lawyers or home insurance lawyers on a regular basis. He just doesn't have referrals that he can send to me on any regular basis, if ever. So one of the ways that he adds value to our relationship is whenever I host an event, he is there.
Every single event, people. I mean,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's 40 degrees outside and the wind is blowing. He is still going to show up with a smile on his face, roll up his sleeves, and move tables and whatever else he thinks needs to be done to support you.
Yeah, and not only that, when we did the Froggers event,
Yes.
and we were looking for volunteers to come up on stage and put shaving cream all over their face.
He was the only one.
He was the only man willing to volunteer
Yes.
to do it. So, that goes a long way. When I know that he is always going to be there in support of my event, whether it's a foam party or whatever it may be. My mom's retirement party that I threw, he was one of the first people there, and he actually had another event the same night, but he made sure to stop by for as long as he could before he had to go to the other event. So it's just showing up for people means a lot, and they may not express to you their appreciation. Like, I'm now kind of feeling convicted that I probably haven't told Mark, thank you.
Just send him this episode.
I probably haven't told him thank you for always showing up and being there in support of my business, but it definitely is noticed and appreciated. And also, if any other financial advisor comes and wants to try to draw me away, I am going to be really, really hesitant to even consider that, because Mark is such a huge supporter of me and my business. Not because he refers business, but because he's just there as an ongoing support. So that's a great way that you can really build a lot of trust and credibility with someone without having to really spend anything or do anything. It's just being there and showing up. Do you love the Miss Biz podcast?
Because we love you.
Here's 3 things you can do to show your support.
1, write us a review. Apple or Spotify are the best platforms for reviews.
2, join us for our free Friday Zoom calls at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. To RSVP, go to MissBiz.com homepage, scroll down to Miss Biz Connects, and click the link.
3, follow us on social media. Our handle is @MissBizPodcast.
As always, thank you for your support.
Another thing that you can do to bring non-monetary value to relationships is to show support through social media and promotion. So there is a public adjuster who's been a great referral source for the firm, and he puts things out on LinkedIn a lot. And so every time that I see it, I make sure that I'm liking, that I'm commenting, and for everyone else, if I don't see your post, it's not anything personal. If I see your post, I will always comment and like on it. But that is just a great way, because with him, usually when people call Boltz Legal, they already have a roofer or a public adjuster that they're working with. Not all the time, but the majority of the time they do. So I was racking my brain trying to think of ways that I could show support and thank them for that. And that is one of the best options that I've seen. Also, like tagging them on Facebook whenever you see like groups or anyone in need of their services. If you know that somebody has been helping to build your brand and to support you, you really need to be putting them out on social media as much as possible, promoting them in these groups. You can also do selfies with them and give them a quick shout out, letting people know who they are, what they do, and how good they are in their industry.
Yeah, I mean, we're all in the social media hustle where we're all trying to figure out the right way to beat these algorithms and get engagement on our posts. And you get an immediate notification when someone comments on something you put out there. So I always recognize that. When someone comments on something that I put out, I get a notification, I see who it is. And if it's someone who's doing it on a repeated basis, I really appreciate that. And I think, thank you for your support on social media. And it doesn't take a lot of time. What does it take? A few seconds
Right.
to make a comment on someone's post or to like it or heart it or whatever. So this is just a really easy way from the comfort of your own home that you can be supporting other people's businesses. And one other myth that I want to dispel is I work with a number of people in the same industry. So let's say, for example, you're a mortgage broker and you get referrals from realtors, and you perceive that every realtor wants to believe they're your only referral source. And so you don't want to put, for example, a picture of yourself with Realtor A because you're afraid Realtor B is going to get offended. That's what I always thought. I never wanted to shout out to any business or be seen as if I'm being too close with any one person because I didn't want to offend someone else who I might also work with. And so I never did that. And then all of a sudden someone told me, and I think it was actually someone on Blinded, maybe Fernando or Sean, and they said it's the opposite that happens. When people see you on social media with their competitor, instead of getting offended and thinking, I don't want to work with her, they think, oh shoot, I'm behind.
Yes.
I need to, it's almost like a FOMO, fear of missing out, that they want to now spend time with you. And I've seen that to be true. I've posted before a girls' night out with some chiropractors before, and the next morning I got a text from another chiropractor saying, we've got to get together soon. Mm-hmm. And it probably was because she saw the post of me spending time with some
of course.
other doctors. So it's the opposite of what you might think. When you put yourself out there and people see, they want to engage with you more, not less.
And just a little side note, I'm thoroughly impressed that you know what FOMO means.
I have not. I have not always known what FOMO means. I won't tell you how long I've known what FOMO means, but I'm glad that I impressed you.
And you used it in the right context. I'm so proud of you. So another way that you can bring non-monetary value to relationships is by providing a Google or a Yelp review. So was it last week? I don't know. The weeks are kind of blending in together. But a young man, Derek Brantley, gave me a quick little treatment because my neck actually hurt so bad that I could not even move it. Like if I wanted to move my neck, I had to actually move my body.
Batman neck?
Yes, Batman neck. It was terrible. And he recognized that and he said, why don't you sit down and let me help you? And whatever he did, it was like magic, and it only took a few minutes for him to do. And I said, well, what is your Cash App? I will send you some money for helping me. And he goes, no, don't do that. Just tell people about it. So I went above and beyond. I shouted him out on Facebook. He wasn't expecting any of it, is what I mean to say, not above and beyond. He wasn't expecting any of it. He just wanted me to tell people about it. But I told everybody about it because I put it on my Facebook, on my Instagram, and I also wrote him a Google review as well. So that is something that you can do to bring a lot of value to relationships.
Oh, so much. And just like with social media, everybody's trying to increase their Google reviews all the time. Or if you're a business who thrives on Yelp reviews or Facebook reviews wherever, reviews anywhere are going to be much more valuable than just a verbal appreciation.
Right.
And so think about that, because sometimes people will take the time to send a text saying, thank you so much, you're really the best, I really appreciate you. But how much more would it be appreciated if you just took that same text and copied and pasted it into a Google review? It would just mean so much more to that person because it's going to benefit their business even more. So always be aware of people that you can be writing reviews for, because it adds a lot of value to the relationship and they really remember it.
Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Meet our expert team at Miss Biz.
Whether you need help with business strategy, brand development, or digital marketing, we have a personalized one-on-one coaching program just for you.
And if you're looking for something more budget friendly, our group coaching services offer incredible value and the chance to learn alongside like-minded entrepreneurs.
Transform your business today. Visit missbiz.com and start your journey to success.
Another way that you can help bring value is through ideas and advice. So I know as an attorney, you probably have a lot of that, but even in my industry, I have a lot of people that come to me for tech questions, or they need advice with advertising. They may not even be using me, but they may want like another perspective, or maybe they're on the fence about using me. And, you know, by me providing them with solid advice and not expecting anything in return at all, or even doing something for them for free. A lot of times if they need help with something, I'll do it for them for free. That provides value to them, and as a result it builds that trust. They get to see the quality of my work, they get to see my knowledge, and then they can decide to do business. And a lot of times they do decide to do business with me later on.
Sure. Just like the theory of reciprocity, when you do something nice for someone, they want to do something nice for you. It is true in this context as well. And this is something that I don't think a day goes by that I'm not doing something for free for people in need of legal services, especially when it's not something that falls into the traditional type of court case. You know, an example, someone I know bought some cabinets and was promised that these were going to be custom upgraded quality. And then when they got there and were delivered, they were not. And so it's not really going to be the kind of case that a lawyer's going to be willing to take on, apart from being paid and a substantial out-of-pocket retainer. And I said, hey, let me just send a letter for you free of charge. That's just one example of something I did this week. There's 2 or 3 others just this week alone where we wrote that kind of a letter. It doesn't take all that much time to do any one. We do so many of them that it's almost I have a part-time employee who pretty much does almost exclusively these free tasks for people. But I feel good to have blessed them when they would have a hard time resolving this issue aside from the help of a lawyer. And I hope that it leaves a good impression with them and that they will, just like you did for Derek, tell other people about their positive experience and hopefully write a Google review and just help the reputation of the firm in general.
I feel like any time that you can use a specific skill from your industry and use that to gift someone, it doesn't necessarily have to be something that costs money, but something that they would find of value. Not only is it seen as a generous act of kindness, but then they also get to see first and foremost the quality of your work and the professionalism that you uphold. So I think it's a great way to open the door to be able to build that relationship, to either get business directly or even have them refer you to family and friends.
Absolutely. And the next way that we've had really good success in building relationships outside of just referrals is giving them written informational tools that can help them succeed in their business. So example of this and what I did recently is I work with a lot of public adjusters and roofers, and they are out inspecting people's homes and helping them through the process of insurance claims. And so I do the same thing on a legal, I take those clients once they have been unsuccessful in resolving their insurance claim, and I go through the legal process with the homeowner. But I sat and thought, what would benefit these roofers or public adjusters as they're out in the field meeting with homeowners? And what came to me was that there's so many different insurance companies, and keeping track of who has what policies is a really hard thing to do. And so I put together a booklet that we call the Insurance Policy Reference Guide that has kind of a cheat sheet for each insurance company that they may encounter. So if they go to a home that has insurance company A, they can simply flip to that page, refresh their memory on what that insurance company's policy is, and then when they go inside to talk to their homeowner, they can be prepared with what the policy language likely says, and also make a great impression for that homeowner because of how knowledgeable they are about their specific insurance company. So I created a digital version of this that is on my website. So whenever people access it, it's bringing traffic to the website. And I created a physical version that is a little booklet that they can carry around with them. And so we started sending this insurance guide electronically to everyone in those fields that we knew. And because of that, I got an invitation to come do a training for a public adjusting company in St. Augustine, which is about an hour from where I live and practice, for like 20 adjusters. And out of this 20 adjusters, I had worked with maybe one or two of them before on a handful of cases. So now I was able to connect with their whole company, all of the adjusters in their company, and spend 2 to 3 hours talking through this booklet that I created, insurance policy manual, and just open up so much more opportunity simply because I gave them a reference guide that they found valuable. Mm-hmm. And so I tell this story because do the same thing. Think about who are the people you want to build relationships with. What would make their job easier? What is a tool, an informational kind of tool that you can give to them? It might take some time. It took us hours and hours to put together this reference guide, but it's providing value to people, and so it was worth it. And we use it now. In the firm, we use it because we need reminders of what the policy says without having to go dig through an 80-page policy every time. So this is an idea that you could apply to your business to bring value and open up doors to more opportunity.
Well, if you found this helpful, please remember to subscribe. Also, we want to hear from you. If there's something that you do to bring value to your relationships, we want to hear about it. Email us at missbizpod@gmail.com. We appreciate you and are honored to be on this journey with you. We can't wait to help you, to encourage you, and show you how to grow personally, professionally, and spiritually.
If you found Miss Biz helpful, please leave a review and share with others.
You can follow us on social media at Miss Biz Podcast.
For legal questions or services, please visit boltslegal.com.
And for digital marketing needs, please visit boltsmedia.com. Let's get biz done.